Good evening, folks. We'll be starting here in just a couple minutes. So thank you for your patience, just letting a couple more folks get here for tonight. And then we will get started with what Matt wonderfully has prepared for us. So just a couple more minutes, and then we will be underway here. Thank you.
Be scared or be brave.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Visible Music College of Iron Hall. My name is Mitch Poland. I'm the drums division head here. I just want to give a round of applause, first of all, to everyone who came here. Thank you so much for your support for tonight's event. We are so thankful. This event could not be possible without a couple people, and I just want to make that quick shout out and then get out of the way and let Matt Greiner do his thing, because he's got a wonderful lineup prepared for you guys tonight. If you were a drummer in Drumathon, can you stand up and come to the stage for 1 second? These guys, back in October, we did a event called Drumathon, and these guys all played for 24 hours straight. 3 hours on, 15 minutes off, 8 a.m. to 8 a.m., in order to support, to bring in clinicians such as Matt Greiner, as well as to help raise scholarship funds. So these guys did all of the heavy hitting. We were supported by Memphis Drum Shop, which we are so thankful for all the support you guys continue to give us and musicians worldwide. You guys are incredible, and one and only barbecue. So these, give one more round of applause for these guys. These guys are the reason why we're here as educators, and these guys are our next generation of musicians. So drummers, you guys are incredible. I'm so thankful just to be able to only be a part of helping you guys continue to make waves as our drummers in the music industry coming up next. And so these are the reason, these people on stage are why we are able to bring in Matt Greiner today. So all right, guys, you guys can take a seat. Thank you again. Again, we want to thank Memphis Drum Shop also for support for tonight's event as well. And we want to thank all of our donors and supporters who supported us during Drumathon and leading up to this event. Again, we are so thankful for how you love on us and how we are able to just, again, be helping to pour out in education and pour out into the Memphis community. And we are so thankful for that. Tonight's artist needs little introduction. Matt Greiner of August Burns Red. He is an incredible powerhouse of a drummer, an amazing musician. He is a Zildjian, DW drums, Vic Firth, and Evans artist. He has played professionally with August Burns Red for thousands and thousands of people. He's played for Zildjian Live, and he's coming here tonight just to not only showcase some August Burns Red tunes as well, but also just to impart wisdom from his experience into y'all's lives. So without further ado, may I present Matt Greiner.
All right. Nothing. There it is. Okay. How you guys doing? We got kick drum? Yeah, we got kick drum. Okay, nice. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. This is quite an honor to be playing in Memphis without my band. I was just playing that solo, and I'm thinking, the last time we were here, I was with my band, and it's weird to be on a stage playing for an audience without JB, Brent, Dustin, and Jake. I'm like, where are the other guys at? It's just it's just me up here. And just to think about me being here just for drumming is such an honor. So thank you guys so much for showing up to this. First off, right off the bat, I just want to thank those that helped put this on, and I'll get more to that in a little bit, but I'm going to play some more drums for you. So, Rebecca, we can get the tracks ready to go, and we're good. All right, this mic is going off. cool thing about a drum clinic is that when I bounce these tracks and there's still click in them, it's like, do we still send that to front of house? Yeah, it's a drum clinic. Make sure everyone knows I'm still on time. So that is actually baked into the track, to my surprise, because I was just on tour for a while and didn't have the Pro Tools I needed to get that fixed. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, there is a way in which I can keep time when I'm playing, and it's the click track. And many of us are drummers here, so I'm speaking to the lowest common denominator. But even I need to remind myself sometimes, because I don't even hear the click track when I'm playing because I've been playing to it for so much, which, like, there are those I see in the room that probably have that same experience. You play to a click track for long enough and you don't even hear it anymore. It's really weird. I don't even know it's there until someone's like, hey, there's a click track coming into the, with the music. And I'm like, oh yeah, I play to a click. Kind of forgot about that. So that's part of the beauty of a drum clinic, that you guys can keep me accountable, right? That I'm staying on. And if I get off, I'm going to look out to you guys and hopefully see some timekeeping out there, because most of us are drummers. And some very good drummers, too. This morning we had a session up here, and it was so cool to do a masterclass here. I've done a couple of them before, but we actually had everyone up here on stage, and I went over just a bunch of different ideas, and because we had 2 drum sets, we could go back and forth. It was so cool. It just made me fall in love with drumming again. Like, after playing for a long time, sometimes you need a reminder of why you do this when you're in the business. And this morning, just seeing the light bulb go off for certain people that were here was like, it's so cool. Such a cool thing. So I'm going to play another ripper, and you'll hear the click track. So if I get off, I'm looking out to you guys. And if you're not if you're not sure what the click track is, I'll point it out in the beginning of this, okay? So that's the click track. Kind of hard to miss. So when we play live, we actually play along with this, but you, the audience, wouldn't hear this. It'd just be in our ears. I gotta play. you so much. I can't believe I get to play drums. I get to play drums for a living. It's like the craziest thing in the world. I started my band in, a little bit about myself. I started my band at my parents' farm when I was 17 years old. I'm 36. So I've been doing this for more than half of my life, which is like a crazy thought. And when I was growing up, I had a speech impediment. So me being on stage talking to a crowd of people who wanted to hear what I had to say, it's just a crazy thought, because as a kid, I was so scared of public speaking. Like, you've heard it said, like, the number one fear is public speaking. It's not like anything else in life. That was totally me. I'm so deathly scared of speaking in front of public. So now that I have this opportunity to do this, it's like, man, God, you've been so good to me and helping me get to where I am. I just feel really blessed and really honored to be here. So I want to start off with a little show of hands. So by a show of hands, can I see who plays drums in this room? Raise your hands. Okay. We got 2 hands. All right. Who in this room knows about August Burns Red, the band that I play for? Okay, very good. Who in this room has seen August Burns Red play live? Okay, a few of you guys. Nice. By the way, I went to go see Memphis Drum Shop today, and it was so sick. I mean, I've always wanted to go there. It was so incredible to be in that place. And I did something really embarrassing when I was there I want to tell you guys about. So there's a cymbal room in the drum shop, and there's a drum set in there. And I was like, I'd like to sit down and play on this drum set. I mean, there's no cymbals on it, but that's okay. So I picked up some sticks. I sat down. No one else was in the room with me. It was just me. And I was probably playing for about 15 to 20 seconds before someone from the store came in. And he like came running into the room, and he's like, hey. He's like, you got to stop. And you could tell he was like kind of bashful. He was kind of like, he didn't really want to tell me to stop, but he had to. He's like, there's a gong meditation happening in the room next to you right now. Dude, I did that at like the most infamous drum shop in the world about 3 hours ago. I can't believe I'm allowed to be up here right now. Should have been transported to drum prison, like right on the spot. But I was like, what do you do? So I got up. I'm still attached. I got up, and I like walked away, like tail between my legs, you know? Walked away, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like a little kid that just got in trouble. Like I just got like, my mom's like, go to the mud room, you're getting disciplined. You know, and I like walk in, and I know I did something wrong, and I'm like waiting for the punishment, but there was no punishment. It was just like the embarrassment, which is worse than the punishment. There's no punishment, just that I'm really disappointed in you. Have you guys ever had that happen to you? That happened to me like 3 hours ago at the drum shop. So, man, so embarrassing. Ugh. Those poor people, they were like in the zone, and they just hear me. I can't even. It's like the most reckless sound are drums, and I'm over there doing that. Okay, so about 14 years ago, I did a tour with a band called Azaledyne. Does anyone know that band? Okay, so they've had a pretty interesting past decade, if you know anything about the band, to say the least. But you know, the beautiful thing about God is that He forgives, and there's grace. And the singer of the band made some mistakes, and God's grace is there for all of us. So it's amazing. It's amazing to think about the band and where they've been and where they are now. But we toured with them in 2008, and I got home from that tour, and I'm like, I want to practice 3 hours a day. I was super motivated. Their drummer, Jordan Mancino, was like my hero. So when he sat down at the kit, he was like right here on stage, you know, he's playing with the band. And I'm like, well, I got to get down. I'm like right here. Like this. This is me. just watching. And I just hide out of sight, and I would just watch him every show just to pick up everything I could. Like some of you guys here at a drum clinic, you're just trying to, take in information. That was me with Jordan. So I come from that tour. I was really motivated, and I'm like, I'm going to practice 3 hours a day. 1 day went by, 1 week went by, 10 days went by, and I still hadn't touched my drum set. I was like, this sucks. Like, I need to set up my drum set at the least. So I went downstairs in my studio, I set it up, and I walked away. And the next day, I'm like, seriously, Matt, you need to do this. 3 hours a day. It's been, 11 days now you haven't touched your kit. So I went downstairs. I was like, 15 minutes. I'm going to practice for 15 minutes. That'll be good. Went downstairs, started playing. 15 minutes turned into 3 hours. And what I want to stress about what I learned about practicing was, if you say you're going to practice for 3 hours, you probably won't practice. If you say that you're going to practice for 15 minutes, you'll likely end up practicing for 3 hours. It's just human nature. 3 hours is too much time. It's too much of a commitment. We're all too busy. So if you're struggling with work-life balance and you're not sure, like, how am I going to find 3 hours to do anything? Give yourself a more reasonable time limit and sit down and just start playing for 15 minutes. And you know what happens? You realize that you love doing this, and you can't stop at 15 minutes. You're like, oh my gosh, I just opened up this entire world that I forgot about. That was overwhelming to me. We all do this with things. It might not be drumming, it might be other hobbies that we've sort of given up on. And I would just encourage you guys, even more than that, I would just ask you guys, just think about a more reasonable time to give to that thing versus such a big chunk like I was doing. So along with that, for the students that were here this morning, there's a piece of paper actually on your chair, and I want you guys to fill out some of this information and take it home with you. For those that were here this morning, you're going to know what the first three are. When you sit down to practice, a lot of us make the mistake of sitting down, and we're like, all right, I'm going to start with something that I'm not great at. And you start to go right into this thing that you suck at. And the problem with this is that it doesn't encourage you to come back to drumming if you're always starting with something that's difficult and ending with something that's difficult. So the first thing you should do is smile. When you sit down and play, you should smile. You should think about how much you love this instrument and play something that's fun for you. Now for me, the stuff that's fun for me is a lot of double bass stuff. Who in the room plays double bass or wants to play double bass? Nice. So double bass is so fun for me. Another thing that's fun are like polyrhythms are really fun for me, where you're playing two different rhythms at the same time. I'll demonstrate something like that. This is fun for me. This is how I usually start my practice. Even better, I can do this and play. Okay. Thank you, Rebecca, for killing it. I'm sorry I'm moving the mic everywhere if that screws you up. So, something I like to do is, I like to play like, say I come up with one time signature on my feet. So, so let's say that's in 3. Or 6, however you want to count it. So I'm hearing that in my head. Underneath of that, I want to play in 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's cool. All right. What else can I do with that? I can take my right hand to quarter notes. I can go to 8th notes, 16th notes, however I want to do it. But this is like the best way for me to start my practice because it's fun. Like, I'm good at it, I can do it, and it makes me really enjoy this instrument. So I want you guys to, when you first sit down to practice, start with something that's really fun and easy and enjoyable. Then you move to something that you're not great at. So I'm just curious. Someone raise your hand if you're not great at something on your drum set? All right. Somebody that raised their hand, what's one thing that you're not good at? Like, man, I wish I was better at this. Yeah. Independence. Okay. So we went over independence this morning. I went over an exercise called 1-and-1, where your left foot is keeping quarter note time. And like you, I was like, man, I suck at independence. I want to be better with my feet. Like, I want to be able to keep time over here. So I started working on, that's 1-and-1. One hand, one foot. Then I was like, all right, what about 2-and-1? All right, what about 3-and-1? What about 4-and-1? That one's hard. And that one, I sucked at for a long time. Like, definitely don't start with that one. You're never going to play drums again because you just aren't good at it. So I'd start with the smile, and I'd go right into this. I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go to this, whole N1 exercise. Like, I want to get good at this whole independence thing. All right, here we go. Brace yourself. So sick, right? It's like, yes, I could do that. And I couldn't yesterday, and I probably won't be able to tomorrow because that's the way drumming works. It's like, you could do something today, and it's like, all right, I got it. I'll never have to work on it again. And then tomorrow, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I eat this morning? I'm never going to eat it again. Like, everything becomes superstitious at that point. Like, I have to be wearing these shoes, double tied, and like Adidas socks. Can't be those long dress socks. I do that stuff on tour. It's so weird. Like, why do I do that? And my fiance is like, Matt, you have to wear your drumming shorts at the clinic. I'm like, I don't really want to wear shorts at the clinic. Like, that's for like when I'm playing live. And she's like, are you going to be able to play? she didn't really say that, but she kind of alluded to it a little bit. She's like, you have to play in shorts. If you're a drummer, you're probably a little superstitious. If you're not, I hope you won't turn into a person that's like me. But you might a little bit with the superstition stuff because it just happens. I don't know why. It's really weird. So the N1 thing is a really good independence workout for me. And that's just something I came up with to try to make my feels cooler because I was so tired of like 2s and 2s and 4s. And like, paradiddle stuff, that was pretty cool, but like, I just wanted a little more linear variation. So typically the stuff I write that is an exercise turns into something that's more of an application, if that makes sense. Like my exercises eventually progress into, oh wow, that's a really cool part in the song. Okay, so what's the first thing you do when you sit down to play? Smile, exactly. Like play something fun. The second thing you do is you suck at it, okay? And then the third thing you do is you shred. I talked about something this morning. I'm 36. When I was playing drums for the first time, my phone was not a thing. I would sit down, I'd go up into the barn, just got done landscaping all day, and I'm like, yeah, I'd use the landline at home to call my band. I'd be like, I'm going up into the barn to practice. If you want to come over, that's where I'll be. And I'd climb the stairs of the chicken house, and I would take my shirt off because it was always hot, and I would sit down and I would practice. And maybe sometimes the band would come, maybe they wouldn't, but I was so happy just being there for like 3 hours by myself. And what I was thinking about was just like, I love playing drums, and I want to get better at it. Now, unfortunately, the mindset could be, what am I going to post today? What are people going to like? Can I get this 30-second part perfected? And if you think about it, it's a shame because it doesn't really give you sustainable joy for playing drums. It gives you a little bit of a dopamine dump when you get those likes coming in, but then it fades into the algorithm, which no one understands, And the next day, you have to post again to make yourself feel like $1 million. What if I told you that drumming is just as much for you as it is for anybody else? And what if you really believe that? Like when I sit down to play, I'm happy you guys are here. I'm happy that you're enjoying, what I'm doing with my band, but like I'm also really enjoying this. And I believe as a Christian that God gave us this instrument to enjoy just as much as he gave it to give it away. Because he loves us and he wants us to enjoy what he gave us. So last part, shred, and this is where you sort of get that reward, that payoff. So what I like to do in this part is like a little bit of like, I'm still not great at this, but I'm going to try, that kind of stuff. And I'll do a lot of the linear, like Vinnie Colaiuta. So it might look something like this. I'll do that, and I'll just be like, man, I feel like I'm really moving right now. Set up my camera, start filming, can't do it again. Is anybody else like that? I call that red light syndrome. As soon as that blinker's on, you're like, can't do this anymore. Turn it off, first try, every time. Chris, you do this too. Yeah. But then, you get up in front of people when you're playing your show, and it works. It's like the adrenaline thing. It's really hard to film footage. It's like hard to film stuff that sounds good when there's no one there and you're like pretending to perform. It's much easier when you have an audience, by the way, if you've never done that before. It's just part of the game. Okay, so smile, suck, shred. Got it? Got it? All right. Okay. I want to give something away. Because we're at the point now where I'm about to go into creativity, and man, that is where I can get carried away. Because I want to see some of you guys start to work to create some stuff and like really flex your creativity muscles. So I brought a couple things with me, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the person that came from the furthest away. Okay, so who drove from 4 hours away to be here? We got 4. We got 4? You won. Come on up. He's from Canada, by the way. How'd you get in? We won't get into that. All right. Shut off the stream immediately. All right. Who's the youngest? Who's younger than 10? Oh, we got a definite winner? 2? Oh my goodness. Can he walk? Come on up here. That's so cool. Oh, we met earlier, and he doesn't really like me. Okay, we'll try again. Congratulations. What's his name? Levi? Congratulations, Levi. All right. All right. I'm gonna pick the next one. The next winner is a friend of a friend's. who I just met tonight. And this friend of mine, I'm going to get a little bit serious here, but I was going through a difficult time 5 years ago. And a friend of mine really like stuck his neck out for me and helped me and supported me. And he didn't need to. He plays for Ariana Grande. He used to play for Usher, and he's the kind of friend that would be, he's the kind of person that would be in the back of the room where Mitch is. Mitch, raise your hand. He'd be right there, and he'd be watching me play. And he wouldn't say anything about himself. He wouldn't say anything about who he is or who he plays for. And after every song, he would stand up and clap the loudest. And he'd come up and he'd tell me how awesome I am, and I would have no idea who he is. And that man is Aaron Spears. He's a phenomenal person, and because of him, through him and some other folks here, is a gentleman here named Chris. And Chris, I got something for you, man, so come on up. You don't need these, but you're getting them anyway. Drums are so cool. It's so cool that we get to do this. Like, we wouldn't all be sitting in a room together if it weren't for this instrument. And by the way, this school is incredible. Like, I was Googling the school before I came here, trying to figure out what it was all about. And it is really an amazing, unique concept. And if you live here or you're involved in the community at all, or you want to be involved in the school, like, this is such a good place to help build and help support and help spread the word about. It's really incredible. Some of the best people I've ever met, like, over the past 12 hours. So, all right, next, let's do, who's been playing drums the longest? So, who's been playing for more than 15 years? Okay, quite a few. 20 years. Chris's face. All right, 25 years. Oh, 30? He's so sad. Man, you already won, but you're still in the race, man. 35 years. We got it. You're like, that's how old I am. All right, come on up here. That's awesome. I'm so sorry I forget your name. Ginger. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. 35. So how long? Well, you don't have to say, because that's not polite. I shouldn't be saying. I shouldn't be even asking that. Okay. Okay, there you go. You look great, by the way. I have 3 sisters, so I should know better than to go into there. You don't do that. Don't do that. All right, the last one is for, let's see here. I'll think about it. I'm out of ideas. Just throw it. Yeah, like a stick at the end of a show. All right. I want to go into to the idea of creativity. So, who feels like they have a good work-life balance here? Who feels like they really have it figured out? Sort of, kind of. Who feels like they're just really busy, and when I talk about practicing or being creative or sitting at the kit, they're just like, I don't know how I can find enough time to do that. Yeah, I feel like that too. And it stinks to think about it that way, because this is something that we love, and if you're anything like me, when you don't play drums, you're not really yourself. Like, you feel like life is just sort of skipping by, but you're not as happy as you could be. You're not as nice as you could be, right? If you play often, you feel like you're yourself. So I want to talk about the idea of sitting down and actually creating your own sound. So picture with me a hallway, and on either side of the hallway are doors. And I'm walking along. It's like, oh, someone's playing in here. That sounds good. That sounds like Travis Barker. You can't see him. You can only hear him. You open the door. It's Travis Barker. Shut the door. Keep walking down the hallway. Like, ooh, that sounds like Vinnie Colaiuta. Open the door, there's Vinnie Colaiuta. Close the door. Can you imagine having that kind of sound that people don't even need to see you, they can just hear you and they know? How do you get that? Well, I have a method that I've been using for years, and it's been very helpful in creating my own sound. And if it's all right with you guys, I want to show it to you. It's 3 different words, which are on your paper. Creation, if you want to fill this out. Creation, memorization, application. So, creation. I'm sitting down with some music from the band, and I'm trying to write a 4/4 groove that is interesting and not the same old. So I'm sitting here with my just kick and snare. And I want you to think about sitting down at your kit with all the different options, and you're choosing to just play 2 of them or 3 of them. That's how I want you to approach this creativity part. So, creation. I'm going to come up with the sticking. I don't know if I like that. Okay, I like that. Okay, keep going with it. Okay, I like that. Creation. I just created it. Took me like 2 hours. Slightly depressing that it took me so long. Now I'm going to memorize it. Second phase. How do you know if you have something memorized? Can you talk while you're playing it? So I was like, yeah, no problem. Today, oh my gosh. Today, we went to a barbecue place, and it was amazing. I think it's called Renaissance, Reformation, Regeneration, Rendezvous. See? Rendezvous is incredible. We had ribs, and they were incredible. You start to say the same words a lot. So do you have it memorized? Try talking. All right. I'm so pumped to be here in Memphis. This is so cool. I'm trying to play this part and talk at the same time. And you start to realize, like, man, I really don't have this memorized as much as I thought. Muscle memory is everything. Everything. It's your confidence. It's your nitro. It's your NOS. It's your gas. It's what keeps you moving when you're feeling like you don't have the energy, when you feel like you don't have the confidence. Muscle memory is what you fall back on. So commit it to memory. Try talking over top of it. Try slowing it down. Speeding it up. Playing it quieter. Once you feel like you've gotten all those hurdles worked out, you go to application. So here's what happened. This is really what happened with this whole exercise. I didn't have this exercise figured out yet. I just created this part, I had memorized it, and I was going to start using it with a part of a song. So I was like, all right, I got it on the snare drum. Okay. That's cool. I like that. Sounds pretty similar to this, but like has a little bit of a groove. That's cool. I like that. But I have like 3 other parts I need to fill, and I just have this one part figured out. And I'm slightly like frustrated because I spend so much time on it. Well, let's call this A. I have to figure out B, C, and D. A. Well, I have the sticking. Let's just move it, and we'll find B. Same exact sticking, next part. about C? Now I have this part figured out. And all I had to do was memorize a sticking that I created and just start moving it around the kit. So here's what's really cool about this. The way that you find your sound is by taking something that everybody can play and playing it in such a way that only you can make it sound like that. Because a lot of you guys can play that sticking, but would you make the same decisions I did about like, can you believe that's the same sticking? It's hard to believe with the types of sounds that are coming from that orientation, but it is. It's exactly the same thing. Same thing with the paradiddle. Like, most of us can play that. We have created it. We can talk over top of it, maybe. It's harder than you think. But then the application is where you go, okay, 4 different choices. What are we going to do? Number 1. I love that. Okay. B. See here. Okay. C. And D. Now, Chris says, play A, C, B, D. Or, hey, Mom, tell me how to arrange 4 letters, A, B, C, and D. She's like, okay, like D, B, C, A. You're like, okay, that's all I need. Thank you, love you, bye-bye. Get off the phone. She didn't need to know what you just wrote, but she just completely challenged you with your drum parts. Because now you're like, D, B, C, A. D, B, see, Chris knows. Chris, you're watching. And then C, and then, you ready? Here we go. Like, Mom, I did it. And she's like, what'd you do? Yeah. What's the next story? You know, you just ask her for more. It's so cool to think about it like that, because our brains get overwhelmed with this idea of like sitting down and spending all this time doing this thing and getting up and dropping your sticks and being like, what did I do today? Like, did I do anything? Was there any progress made? What's the proof in the pudding? A lot of work invested. Now you can be like, I created something, I memorized it, I applied it 4 different ways, and I have letters attached to what those parts are. Isn't that so cool? It's like such a different way of thinking about your drumming and your drum parts. And it's really helpful when you're looking to improv and come up with new ideas, because you can just pull them, like they're like tools on your tool belt. Oh, I think I'm going to use this. Okay. You have 4 different options to use. All right. Do I have a volunteer? Because I want to see if we can play this out. Anybody? I love it. All right. I'm gonna need a name reminder. Aaron. Aaron. Okay. Give it up for Aaron. Your sticks, kind sir. All right. Have a seat. All right. Aaron, I want you to create something. We haven't done this before. All right, I want you to create a beat, okay? A sticking. I want you to create a sticking. Just kick and snare. I love that. That's so cool. Play that again. All right, start playing it again. Tell me about what you ate for lunch.
Well, for lunch we had sandwiches, and they had ham and turkey, and I put mustard and
Dude, it's so hard, and you're so good at it. You feel like you did it? Sort of, kind of? All right, cool. So let's just assume that you haven't memorized perfectly. Okay. So let's come up with an A. So you created the sticking, you've memorized it. Let's come up with an A. I propose kick, snare, hat. It's always a good way to start. So when that happens, go back. Go back to the beginning. Okay. Oh, this is cool. This is cool because you wanted that right hand accent, but now you're up here on the hat. You got to do it. Stick with it. There you go. That's cool. That's the other thing. You just wrote something that you would have never written. Like, I would have never played that beat, but that's cool. So do that again. That's your A. All right, let's go to a B. Let's do toms. And some snare. That's cool. All right, A, B. Okay, C? Yeah, that's cool. Okay, dude, you started with a pretty tough sticking. I do the same thing. That's how you get better. Practice something that you can't play until you can. Just keep setting that bar higher. I like that about you. I saw that this morning too, and you're going to continue to push yourself. You're not done yet. So, who wants to call out an ABC pattern? Josh. BCA. You need those BCAs. So think toms, effect cymbals, hi-hat. Go back to the snare. This is a good practice session, by the way. This is good. If you have to stop yourself and go, forget, all those sounds, good. That's good. I've done that for 15 years, and if you guys have been playing for a while, you have too. That's your brain doing something that, if we could see what's happening up there, it's craziness. But that's you pushing yourself as a drummer. Really good stuff. But you don't want to start here, right? Yeah. You want to start with smile, right? And then you want to go into this world, and then you want to shred to end. Right? You don't want to live in this world. You don't want to start here and end here. Okay, try it again. Go back to your snare. Okay, so go to Tom's. Go to effect symbols. And hi-hat. Boom. Yep, hit that hi-hat. There. Boom, give it up for him. Hey, Aaron! You can keep those. And I got something else for you. I found the recipient. Those are yours. Good job, man. I'm proud of you. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. I love that. So just think about that. Next time you're playing, think about that hallway. You're walking down a hallway, and you want to be the guy in the room no one can see. They can only hear you. And you want to be the guy that they know who you are by the sound of your playing. And I believe the way that you get there is by playing what a lot of people can play, just making it sound like only you can make it sound. Because really, how many different options are there for stickings and rudiments, right? It's a matter of feel. There's a lot of soul in your playing. There's a lot of you in your playing. And there's a lot of decision making. And the Spirit Breaker thing that I wrote is just a good example of like, probably most people wouldn't make the same decisions I did, and therefore it's become part of my sound. Now, when you're making decisions like that, you're hiding the simplicity of what you're playing in the complexity of the part. So it's like, it's not all that intricate, but when you start to move it around the kit, all of a sudden it sounds hard. And that's what I do with ABR, my band, all the time. Is I'm playing something that a lot of people can play, but the way I'm playing it sounds more difficult than what it is. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? Creation, memorization, application? Nope? Okay. All right, so the title of all of this is There's No I and Why. And the reason I wrote that is because I get frustrated for people that get ripped on the internet. And the reason I get frustrated is because when I'm playing a show, I'll talk to people afterwards, and let's say I finish playing, I'm at the barricade, and I'm meeting someone. I'm like, hey, it's good to meet you, thanks for coming. And I'm like, wait, that's the guy that said that I suck at playing drums. And said I look like an idiot, and said that my posture's bad. And so I'm like, hey, did you mean that stuff? And in person, almost always it's, no, man, like, I'm sorry, I was probably having a tough day or something. And man, that stuff really can affect you. It can really tear you down. It can really tear you down as a person. And I mean outside of drumming. Like, I have 3 sisters. I feel bad for my sisters having to deal with all of the crap on the internet with how you're supposed to look and how perfect you're supposed to be. And it's just like, it's tough, man. Same thing with drumming. So there's no I in why, but there is in strive and you working towards something. And I just want to encourage you, you don't have to do this for other people. You can do it because you love it. And that is reason enough. And when you sit down to play and you're smiling and you're enjoying this and it's giving you life, don't let other people take away that life that it's giving you. Don't look for affirmation from other people. Because there have been people in my life who I was like, oh, if only this person, like I can picture him right now. You can too if you close your eyes. I just want that guy to affirm that I'm doing a good job. That's all we want, to be told that we're doing a good job. And I never got it. My band kept getting bigger. We got nominated for a Grammy. We got nominated for another Grammy. And I'm like, still didn't get anything. I'm still waiting. It's like, dude, you just got nominated for a Grammy. You're looking for this dude's good job, thumbs up? Like, it's ridiculous. But we do it. We all do that. And I just want to encourage you that you are the man or the woman that's doing the work on the kit. Enjoy it for yourself. And when you can start to do that, then you can turn around and you can face the world. You can face an audience and you can say, I want to love you with what I do here. And actually, I can take any hit you deliver. I can take any blow. It doesn't matter. Like, I love this enough that I can take the criticism. But I love this enough that I want to give it away, which I believe is what God gave us this thing in the first place to do. I can continue to help other people and make other people happy. So there's a famous quote that I come back to by Teddy Roosevelt, which we don't have to go into the politics of it, but I really like what he says here. It's called Man in the Arena. A lot of people talk about Tom Brady with this quote recently, but it says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena or on the drum set, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again and again. Because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls on Instagram, who neither know victory nor defeat." Come on. Man, I love this instrument. And it's crazy to think like that it's saved me and it's helped me and it's given to me for so many years, but it really has. And if you've had that experience with drumming, then you know exactly what I mean. When you're having a tough week, when you just need a good word, when you need to feel good about yourself, when you need a challenge. Check, check. Okay, we're back. There's drums. They're always there. So I have a story for you. I got a call about a year ago from a guy. Have you guys ever heard of Jam Card? Jam Card? Chris has heard of it? Yeah, a couple of you guys. It's an app that is by invite only. It's other musicians who are, working musicians, and it's like a LinkedIn almost for musicians. So anyway, I got invited, and not long after, I got a phone call from the owner of it, and he's like, "Matt, a buddy of mine is in the movie making business, and I pitched him a bunch of names of drummers. He was looking for a drummer for a movie that he's doing." I said, "All right." He said, he's interested in you. I said, "All right." So he said, "Can I give him your number?" I said, "Yeah." So I got a phone call, and he's like, "Hey, this is Evan Bogart. We're making a movie about my dad, and we're interested in having you as a drummer in this movie." I said, "All right." They're like, "We're interested in," I'll leave the expletives out of it, "but we're interested in a really good drummer who's also willing to wear makeup." And I'm like, "Makeup? Like Kiss makeup?" And he's like, "Actually, exactly." You know what I'm talking about. So I was in that movie. So I'm in this movie about Kiss, which is I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Dude, I had to drive to Jersey for this fitting, and I put on this onesie that Peter Criss wore. Not that he actually wore, but it's designed to look like him. And I was like, "There's no way I'm getting this off. It's never coming off of me." And the lady looks at me and she goes, "Yeah, we're gonna need some special underwear. This isn't gonna work." I'm like, "I'm not sure I want to do this. I feel very intimidated." So I ended up shooting the movie, and I met a bunch of famous actors and actresses while I was shooting this movie. It's called Spinning Gold. If you want to look it up right now, it'll give you a little bit of a background. But it's not out yet. My band keeps asking, like, when's the movie premiere? We can't wait to go with you. I'm like, I don't know. I'm still waiting. So there was a guy in the movie that I was always in makeup with. His name's Jay Farrow. He's on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, Jay Farrow. So I'd be sitting here getting my makeup done, which took about an hour, and my wig and everything. And Jay Farrow's behind me. So we're talking to each other without seeing each other. And he is hilarious. I'm just making me laugh the whole time. Well, one day on the set, there's a guy that's working on the set, and I guess he'd be kind of a nobody on the set. Like, he would have been someone who was there to help out, turn wrenches, make sure everyone was, in their spots. But he was like in the shadows. And he's standing over here, right? And Jay Farrow's over here, and I'm next to Jay, we're talking, and Jay looks over and he sees this guy. And he goes over to him. And he's like, hey man, he remembers his name. He's like, dude, how you been? And the guy's like, hey. He's like, cannot believe Jay's talking to him. I saw this whole thing happen. He's like, we were on a movie together, with Justin Timberlake. Like, it was, good to see you again. He goes back to talking to me, and I remembered seeing this happen. And afterwards, Jay had to go out and shoot a scene, and I'm talking to this guy now. I said, what was your interaction with Jay before? He said, I can't believe he remembered me. He said, I was just working another movie, and I remember him saying hi, and I introduced myself, and that was like years ago. I said, so you're not an actor? He said, no, I just work on the set. I said, he remembered you? He said, yeah. And the guy was like tearing up a little bit. And I remembered that. So a couple days later, I talked to Jay. I said, Jay, it's really cool the way that you handle yourself on the set. Like, you are climbing, and you're only going to get, more and more famous with Saturday Night Live. And he said, man, you have got to be building people up as you are climbing. You have to do that. It's the most important thing you can be doing. Be building people up the whole time. It doesn't matter where you are on the ladder. And when he said that, I was like, that dude gets it. And he's going places. And I want to be that kind of person, that regardless of who it is, it's that guy over there, he's just helping out, setting up, or he's tuning, or someone's doing sound, or someone's doing video, or someone's taking pictures. It's like, you have to be the kind of person that treats people the way you'd want to be treated along the way. And so if you're looking to be in the music industry and you're looking to be someone that's pursuing this as a line of work, I would just encourage you to be a Jay Farrow, be an Aaron Spears, regardless of how far along you are. It really matters. And actually, the best way to be successful in any industry is to be that kind of person. So it won't be hurtful to you either. As we're looking to hire someone like a drum tech or a guitar tech or a sound person, we're looking at those qualities. We're looking at the type of person that's willing to do the work, not be asked to do it, not complain, keep their head down, stay in their lane, treat everybody really well. And that would be my best business advice. If you're looking to do what I'm doing, to do what Chris is doing, to do what Aaron Spears is doing, they would all tell you the same thing. Do what you do really, really well. Treat people really, really well. Know what your job is and stay in your lane. And look for work that needs to be done and do it. Don't ask questions about what needs done. Just take the initiative. So that's about all I have. And I want to end on that note because it's the most important thing I could say. I really appreciate your time, and I want to just give a few shout-outs here. I can't find my thank you notes. Oh, here it is. Okay. So thank you to everyone with Drumathon, man. I heard you guys played for 24 hours. That's incredible. Thank you to Clay, Mitch, Simon, who's not here, he's out playing, Dixon, Nick, Josh, Rebecca, Shekinah. Did I get it? I got it, yes. And I know I'm forgetting some names. Thank you, Chris, for coming out. Thank you, Josh. gosh. It's really amazing to be a part of an event like this, and I really hope I get to do it again.
So I'd like to say, I think you're forgiven. The owners of the drum shop are here.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm forgetting. Do you guys know this story? Okay. Okay, yep. Earlier I told the story of, I might get disciplined if I tell this story. You have a very beautiful shop. And my first time being there, I was over in the cymbal room checking out all the Zildjian stuff, and I turn around, I'm like the only person in there. I'm like, oh man, I'm the only person in this room, first time in this legendary shop. And I walked over, and there's a drum set there, and I picked up some sticks, and I sat down, and I just started playing by myself, which I don't usually do that. I just was feeling happy. And your security guy came over, burst in through the door, and he's like, hey, stop. I was like, oh, what's wrong? He said, there's a gong meditation happening right there. And you could tell he was so embarrassed for me, which made me feel really dumb and guilty. And I walked out, and like everything's completely quiet. And I'm like, how could I be so dumb to just do this? So I'm really sorry. And if I've been ostracized from your store forever, I completely understand. But thank you for being here. And you have an amazing shop. And thank you for providing the drum set. Let's give it up for Memphis Drum Shop. What's up, guys? We need to support brick and mortar stores more than ever, man. And I think that we're seeing a trend where we're coming back to it because people want real. They want to feel it, they want to see it, they want to know it. I think that's why the symbol thing that you guys have, my symbol, is that what it's called? It's so cool. And there's a lot of integrity in that shop, so I cannot support it enough. So cool being there, and I'm very sorry. Very sorry. All right, so the last thing I want to do is a giveaway, and then I don't want anybody to leave because I want to do a picture for Aaron Spears, actually. We have this thing where like he sends me pictures of his clinics, and then I send him pictures of mine, and just something we've been doing for a while. It's really cool. A cool thing that I want to keep going. And this is my first clinic back in like 2 years, so I'm sorry if I'm a little rusty. It's just been a long time, and I'm so glad we can get back to this. So let's do some giveaways. Mitch, do you actually want to come up and help me with this? Give it up for Mitch, everybody. I should mention, too, if you guys want any advice or you want to talk about something that's on your mind or like, hey, how do I do this? What do I do here? Or you just want a picture or an autograph or you want to check out the kit, I'll be here for as long as I need to be saying hi and talking to you guys. So, you ready? Okay. So I have a bell that I made with Zildjian 12 years ago, and I'm lucky enough to have sold 450 of them, and they believed in the project, and now they're rolling it out into the marketplace. It's called the Blast Bell. It's not out yet, but this is like the first one I made in 2010, and these are ones that they made that aren't the final product. It's more of like something you hang on your wall. That's like a cool one of 80. There's only 80 of them made in the world. So Mitch likes the sound of it. I'm more partial to like the K, quote unquote, of bells. This sounds more like a Zill bell, like an A. It's brighter, it rings a little longer. This has a harmonic fifth. Is that right? Diminished. Got the word wrong. Dummy. Okay, so we're gonna give this away. I think I know who I want to give this to. I want to give this to the shop. Yeah, I want to give this to the shop. That's who I want to give it to. You want to come up here? Yep. This is well-deserved. This is my penance for mine. Absolutely. Thank you for having such an awesome store. Okay. And we have one more here. And I'm going to give this away to, okay, let's do this. Who remembers the name of the movie, the Kiss movie that I'm in? Raise your hand. That was fast. Come on up here. You already knew the movie before I even talked about it. Oh, you know Evan Bogart? Okay, yeah. Okay, that's cool. Small world. Yeah, Evan Bogart and his brother are making the movie about their dad, Neil Bogart, who started Casablanca Records. And I was Peter Criss, so I had to learn how to play like him for Shout It Out Loud and Rock and Roll All Night. And it was so cool. There was like pyro. I was on a 10-foot riser. Like, I felt really special at that movie. Like, I was treated like royalty. Okay, we got some drumsticks here. Let's see here. The latecomers. Which one of you is the youngest? Blink-182? Oh, you are? Come on up. Yep. What's that? I know, of course. Clay's been making us laugh all day. You deserve this. For your paradiddles. All right. Girls. All the ladies in the room. What's the name of the female drummer who wrote a song about her nose on Instagram? Who just said that? That's it. That was amazing. Aw, little man. All right, there you go. Congratulations. Okay. Let's see here. Who is new at this college? Who's brand new at this college? Okay, nice. A lot of you guys. You guys are all new. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to throw this out there, like I do at an ABR show. You ready? That was fun. That was cool. All right, we got one more here. This is for whoever's brave enough to come up here and play what Aaron wrote earlier. Somebody's got to do it. And okay, you're next, but you first. No. Hey, you want to come up here? You're on standby. Come on up. All right, ma'am. How do you feel? Confident? No. All right, give it a shot. You got 3 chances, and then we have someone up here who's working it out in their head. Chris is like, no, that's not it. That's 2 chances. You got one more.
I'll give you a hint. No flams.
There's no flams in there. All right, you're done. You're done. Give it up. Give it up for the bravery. All right. All right. All right. What's your name, ma'am? Julie. Julian? Matt.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. You got your own sticks, or you need some?
I mean, I brought some.
Oh, you did? Yeah, use yours.
Okay.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. All right, give it up for Julian. Let's go. He's like, don't give it up yet. Oh, it's close. All right, give him a little help. It stops. It's more of a 3. This is cool. I like this exchange. Hey, Aaron, you got any insight? Mm-hmm. That's that whole memorization phase we were going over. It's kick, snare, snare, kick, right, left. Is that right? It sounds like butter. I think it might just be the way you play. Sounds like butter? I don't know. Let's put your right hand up here on hi-hat and see. That's going to tell us. You got it? You think that's it?
No, that's not it, but I think
Ooh, you don't think that's it? Okay. All right. Well, hold on. You're not done yet. You're not done. All right. I want you to create something. I want you to create your own sticking. While you're here, whatever you want. All right, I like that. Let's create an A. So find a place to put that, and we'll call it A. Same sticking. Well, first, do you have it memorized?
Hello, my name is Julian. I teach drums.
It sounds pretty syncopated to me, man. You gotta have a sentence.
So I was born in I was born in Florence, Kentucky. I lived in Memphis, Tennessee since I was 3.
All right, let's go. Let's send it. All right. First orchestration. Go for it. That's cool. Let's speed it up a little bit. All right, toms. That's A. B. C. That's cool. I love that. Put some, so right hand up on there, left hand on snare and toms. Yeah. All right. Very good. A, B, C. Go for it. The face of, I don't know. Oh, you're awesome, man. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you, too. Seriously. Thanks for being a part of this. Here's something for you. A bunch of EQ patches so you don't put a hole through the kick drum. From Evans. Okay. Give it up for Julian. All right. There's one more thing I want to do. I want to just close out the night with, if you guys want, if you don't mind, writing down 3 things on that little index paper. I won't look at them. This is more so like an act of you saying, I'm doing something that's going to make me a better drummer, so that when I leave here, I've done something for myself. Like, I want you to walk away with something for you. Not just a fun Friday night, but just like you're a better drummer, you're a better person tomorrow. So I want you to write down 3 things that really best describe why you play drums. And I know some of you guys did this earlier. You don't have to do it again. But for those of you that are here now, just write down the 3 reasons why you play. And if you're not a drummer, maybe write down the 3 reasons why you, and then pick a hobby or pick something that you really love that maybe you base some of your identity on. And the reason I want you to do this is, in the Christian sense, It's you saying, here is what I base some of my identity in. And sometimes I'm scared about what people are going to say about it. Sometimes I get nervous. Sometimes I feel like it's a burden. And I don't want to feel that way. So I'm walking up and I'm dropping this thing in this bucket saying, I give it up. It's not mine to hold on to. It's not my burden to carry. And you put it in this little drum here, and it symbolizes you saying, it's not yours to worry about. And in a non-Christian sense, if you're not like a spiritual person or you can't really connect with that, it's you saying, I love this instrument, and here's why. And I just want to write it down so that I can see it, so that I can think about it. And I don't need other people to affirm me, though that would be nice. I don't need other people to affirm me for this hobby, for this passion. I love it because I love doing it, and I can stand on that. So if you don't mind filling that out and just walk it up here to the front and drop it in here, that would be fantastic. And then when you get up here, stay up here, and we're going to get a picture. All right? Thank you guys so much for being here. It has really been an honor to spend a Friday night with you in Memphis. I just finished a tour, and I'm getting married in May and then starting another one in Europe. So this is like perfect timing for me. So thank you. Come on up.
While we're getting those sent in, again, one more round of applause for the students from Drumathon who drummed for 24 hours. Again, to our sponsors from that event, Memphis Drum Shop and one and only, the sponsors from today, Memphis Drum Shop, all of our supporters and donors who have been just supporting what we do here at Visible Music College. And again, thank you to Matt Greiner, again, for coming and flying in and in the middle of getting off of a tour, getting ready to be married, getting on another tour, just giving of his time and being able to come and impart this on you guys. So thank you again to everyone who's been a part of this, and we're getting ready for this photo.